Hello, this is Anne Vivian. Thank you so much for tuning in to Mystical Adventures, where we explore all things mystical, healing, creative, and inspiring. I'm so glad that you've tuned in today, and I'm so excited about today's show. I have a very special guest. She's an Ayurvedic practitioner, and she's going to teach us a little bit about how to use this beautiful traditional healing system for helping us to de-stress. Are you stressed lately? Are you feeling disconnected from your body? Last week, we talked about how to make friends with the body in a little bit more detail and connecting with your body temple and how to nurture your body temple. Today is really, in a way, it's a beautiful expansion and deeper exploration of the Making Friends with Your Bodies episodes I've been doing, because we're going to learn about this beautiful Ayurvedic breathing technique to help connect with our body, nurture our body, and also decrease our stress level. And Ayurveda is a beautiful system for well-being from India, and it really integrates spirituality and health. So I'm going to introduce her in just a moment, but before I do, a couple of quick announcements. Just want to remind you that, well, really just one announcement. There's going to be the next 6-week integrative dreaming group starting May 6th. And if you'd like more information about that, please visit my website and you can sign up for this. It's 6 weeks, and we're going to be exploring working with dreams together in a mind, body, spirit approach. I'm now going to share with you the Spirit Helper message of the week. For every week, I tune in and open myself to the angels, guides, ascended masters, spirit helpers of heart-centered and high consciousness vibration who are there to offer a message for guidance for the week ahead. So I tuned in this week, and I did receive the Peacock spirit animal visitation, and I'm so excited to share the message. Peacock is such a perfect animal spirit to come visit us this week and offer his message and hope, because the sun just entered Taurus. We're entering the sign of the feminine, the earth, color, beauty, and appreciating all of the beautiful aesthetics in this earth and the earth herself and our bodies. And so it's a great time to have a show on Ayurveda. It's a great time to be communing with a spirit animal who is talking to us about these things. So let me read to you the message from Peacock Spirit Animal. I am your brother and an expression of the color of the soul. I express the colors of the soul in a variety of ways, and I allow this to be seen by others as a way to remind them of the beauty of the earth and of ourselves. I do not need to flaunt my feathers as a way to feel better about myself, but I teach you now to remember your own pride and beauty, and that by protecting your own uniqueness and qualities that deserve to be recognized, you transcend styles and fads and truly express that transcendent quality of aesthetics that deserves to be shown, seen, and experienced. I want to share with you, I am not a bird that boasts, but a bird that teaches you to remember your genius, to allow people to see what makes you special and admirable, and to use this as a way to understand your own relationship with your higher power. Allow yourself to be grand, allow yourself to be great, and allow other people to recognize your greatness. Thank you, Peacock Spirit Animal. I think it's a great reminder to appreciate the beauty around us, the beauty within us. And as we can recognize this, it's really connecting with God's Spirit, our higher power, and just embracing the beauty and the magic of color this week is in alignment with what's happening in the cosmos. And I appreciate Peacock for reminding us of this beautiful part of being human. like to tell you a little bit about today's guest. I was trying to think of a transition between Peacock and Lorraine, and Peacock is a beautiful bird, and Lorraine is a beautiful bird. My guest today, she's a dear friend and a very talented Ayurvedic practitioner. You might be asking yourself, what the heck is Ayurveda, Anne? She's going to tell us. So Lorraine's interest in integrative health began in her first career as a surgical scrub, assisting in the operating room. That was an exciting job, I bet. And she studied Ayurveda, the science of life, functional nutrition, cranial sacral therapy, Kundalini yoga, Reiki, massage therapy, and meditation. Oh my gosh, only a few things. Lorraine combines her knowledge and intuition to work directly with each person's individual imbalances, both with the systems of the physical body and manas, the mind, using food, meditation, and lifestyle changes to encourage, teach, and enhance wellness. Each person is unique and has a unique constitution, and her work begins with the present moment. And I feel that this has so much to do with Ayurveda, which she's going to tell us about. So I'm so excited for her to come on the show. So without further ado, welcome Lorraine Cannatta.
Hi, Anne. It's so fun to be here.
Oh, I'm so delighted you're here.
Yeah. You did a great job describing it, too. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Yeah. So, Lorraine, I'm wondering if you could just tell our audience who is not familiar with Ayurveda, just give them a little intro, what Ayurveda is.
Well, I mean, basically, to simplify it, Ayurveda is the Sanskrit word meaning science of life, and Ayur means science. Ayur means life, and Veda means science. So it's basically the study of life. It's the science of life in nature and people and the connection that we have with one another.
Oh, so beautiful. So it's so integrative. It's recognizing that we are all part of a whole, and that the body is more than just the body, that it's connected with these other parts of our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And could you tell?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you could tell our audience a little bit about you and your background.
Okay. I've always been interested in healing and learning about the body and what happens with what. Basically what you do, what you eat, who you're with. When I worked in the operating room, it was all about the inside of the body, basically, with trauma or with disease. And I always had this curiosity about why some people come in with this disease, some don't. So I started studying on my own, searching for answers for myself as well, because there was a period of time where I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia by a chiropractor. But basically, when I went to my first Ayurvedic session, I learned a lot about who I was just in that moment, because people are always told me I was too this, too that, especially working in an operating room when you're really sensitive. And I realized that in Ayurveda, we decide on a person's constitution by several things, by taking their pulse, by their body, looking at their body, by their facial expressions, by how they feel. And there's many other ways, looking at their tongue, looking at their eyes, listening to their voice. And so I discovered that I had a specific constitution, which is Kapha Pitta. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a little while. And it helped me understand who I was. So once I understood my constitution, I could understand my imbalances, the things that I could do to balance myself, and the things that I could do to comfort myself in this is who I am. And I think knowing ourselves is really the way to begin any kind of healing process. So that's what Ayurveda did for me personally. And it basically teaches us how to live in balance with our constitution. So I moved from the operating room to other different forms of caring for people and understanding the body. And that's really where my fascination lies, in recognizing what's going on with other people and where I can support them. And more than that, where they can support themselves. Because Ayurveda offers someone the power and the control to adjust their life, adjust what they need to adjust. It's not just going in somewhere and somebody saying, you have this, you have that, take this pill. It's more about finding that place in yourself where you need that healing.
And it's so interesting, Lorraine, when you talk about the constitution, it reminds me how in Ayurveda there's this recognition of the different energy types in the body. And there's a recognition of the non-physical life energy that moves through us all. And it seems to me like that's the key to healing with Ayurveda, or one of the keys is understanding there's a lot of different kinds of energy in the earth, the cosmos, in our bodies. And if you can work not only with the body and the physical energy, but that non-physical energy, then you can recognize the uniqueness of the energy. And this is a show that embraces the mystical and the intuitive. And I love how in Ayurveda it embraces that mystical, non-physical dimension as part of healing. So I just really, love learning about it. I love learning from you about Ayurveda, and I love learning about how in this tradition there are very intricate systems that have been worked out over many, many hundreds of thousands of years, thousands
5,000.
of years.
Yes.
5,000, we're not talking about some new fad. This has been an ancient practice. And anyway, I'm just going all over the place, but I just
That's great.
I guess what I wanted to say was I feel like it really relates to the mystical dimension, the healing dimension, but also really practical dimension. You move from the operating room and that Western model of empirical science, and what you see is what you get, to there's more to health than the physical body. There's more to consciousness than the physical body. And that really opened the doors for you personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think you're speaking about awareness. And, I think that when we have an awareness of who we are, I think we have more confidence in approaching, the recognition of energy and how we work, how our energy works in certain situations. So I love the way you said it. It really does relate to what we're talking about today.
Now I know why Peacock came in. I was wondering, what's the connection here with Peacock? And because usually the spirit helper has a lot to offer with whatever the show is about. And it's about uniqueness, the doshas, and embracing your own unique body type or body element, which Lorraine is about to tell us about, is kind of reminding me of how the Peacock is saying, embrace your own unique beauty. And we've been talking about in the past couple of episodes where I did some shows on making friends with your body, embrace that you don't look like everybody else. Your body doesn't look like everybody else's. It's not supposed to. You're supposed to be your own unique expression. And I feel like that's part of Ayurveda, is embracing your own unique combination of elements. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Great. It's interesting. It's great because I had mentioned that, people are always telling me I'm TOO, to this and to that. And I think to do this kind of work, I find that I can use that sensitivity that I have to understand other people's energy and understand what they're feeling, and sometimes even, be able to say that to them when they're not really sure themselves. So Ayurveda is the perfect place for me to be my best with other people and with myself. So
would you mind telling us about the doshas? What we were beginning to talk about with the different elements in the body?
Here we go. Yeah, sure. Basically, I just said all this about understanding your constitution, and within our body we have what we call 5 elements, which are water, air, fire, earth, and ether. And there are 3 doshas that we put these elements into to help us define, what body type, what constitution we are. And the first dosha is called the vata, and that contains the air and the ether. And the second one is pitta, that contains basically the fire. And the third one is kapha. Kapha is the earth and the water. And according to Ayurveda, we go into understanding people's imbalances after we understand their constitution. So, for example, I'm just going to give you a little brief information because I can go very deep into this.
Please.
So, for example, an increase in the water and earth, which is the kapha dosha, leads to decreased movement, increased attachment, and a lot of depressed emotions. And I'm talking about the imbalances here, just to make it clear. And an increase in air and ether creates constant movement, because if you think about the air, the wind, and that in turn can lead to people feeling more anxious, unable to focus. An increase in fire can lead to people feeling angry, frustrated, have this desire to control things. And so basically there are foods and herbs and meditation practices and pranayama and different body work that you can do to help people reach their balance, to return to balance. So today I was going to do one pranayama that I was taught by Dr. Ladd during my studying at Kripalu, and it's called the Empty Bowl Meditation. And
I can't wait for you to share it. Can I interrupt you and ask a quick question?
Yes.
We have plenty of time.
Okay,
and
good.
I wanted to ask, so it's so fascinating. You were saying if there's an increase in a certain element, like you gave the example, if there's an increase in the fire element, it can lead to anger. But would it be correct in elaborating on that to say if you have an imbalance already of the fire element, or if you're lacking in the fire element and you add the fire element, it can help to and increase it. It can help to balance you out. But if you are at, like in the middle range or already have too much fire, then it can lead to more anger and irritability.
Yes, and exactly, you got it just right. It's a matter of, if you're a pitta person, you're kind of fiery anyway. There's 10 different gunas that go along with each constitution, and that's another conversation. But one of them is, for a pitta person, which is the fire person, is to to get things done, to study, to learn, to teach, active intellectually, and if you're running around the house screaming and yelling and you're a pitta person, your pitta's out of balance.
Right.
There's fire. So what we do in Ayurveda with a person whose pitta is really high, put your feet in water, go for a swim, drink more water, avoid hot foods, eat sweets, A pitta person needs sweets to stay balanced.
I heard cucumber. Cucumber is a cooling food for pitta.
Exactly.
So
Cucumber, yes, you got it.
Thank you, Lorraine. I could just talk to you for hours about this. I know you wanted to do this beautiful empty bowl pranayama meditation for my audience. So Lorraine's going to lead us in like a 3-minute meditation visualization now. And I suggest, obviously, you don't drive or operate heavy machinery while you participate. Take it away, Lorraine.
Okay, great. So I would like everyone to take their right hand and lift it up and take this part. You see me?
Yes. And for those folks who are tuning in by audio and not the video, just describing, take your hand palm up, your right hand, and put it in front of your nose, right below your nostrils, right?
Yeah, you want to place the long part of your hand away, not the part where the thumb is, where the pinky finger is, and you want to place it face up, right above your upper lip. And I'm going to ask you, while your hand is there, to just close your eyes for a moment. Actually, close your eyes for the entire meditation. And if you see me, I'm not doing it. I'm teaching it right now. So keep your hands there. And I want you to notice a cooling that comes out of the right nostril. I want you to take a moment and just join that breath that's coming in. That is expanding the inside of your right nostril. And allow it to expand. And allow your mind, any of your thoughts, anything, to go right up in there. And you're going to feel it expanding further up into your right nostril. And you're going to notice that if you felt any stuffiness in your nose, or if you felt any tightness anywhere from any stress, the expansion in the right nostril is starting to soften. It's starting to soften the cilia in your nose. It's starting to soften, the inside, the tightness, and it's going to move all the way up to the back of your throat.
Lorraine, we have 2 minutes. I just wanted to make sure you know.
I see it on the thing. Thank you. So I'm going to make this quick. So while you're there, just notice that you have the breath moving to the back of your throat. And keep your hand there and notice the heat coming out of the left nostril. And open your eyes and just notice if you feel calmer. We tend to want to force our breaths when we're feeling stressed. Just breathe, just breathe. This pranayama is becoming aware that your breath is there for you. That's your life source. You can allow yourself to be with it, to join it.
Oh, thank you, Lorraine. I feel so much more aware of my breath, and I feel so much more connected with my body. I know Lorraine does a much more elaborate version of this, and I'm so sorry that we got only the technical sample, but you can begin to see how this pranayama practice can help connect you with your body, slow you down. Hopefully you feel a little bit slowed down after just beginning that. And Lorraine, if someone would like to contact you for an online session, would you tell them your website?
Sure. It's 5elementshealingcenter.com. And the 5 is spelled out, the word 5.
And you can contact her. She will work with you, teach you more elaborate techniques like this, and she's available for Ayurvedic consultations. I want to thank you so much for coming on, Lorraine. That was such a treat.
My pleasure.
And I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Have a beautiful, blessed week, and I will see you next show. Namaste.
Namaste.